Welcome to Gingercat Stories. Join a brave little boy and his clever ginger cat, Ginger, on a magical adventure. Leo was a curious little boy who loved exploring. Wherever Leo went, his ginger cat, Ginger, followed him. They were best friends who never stayed apart for long. Ginger was clever, calm, and always alert. One afternoon, Leo walked near the jungle with Ginger beside him. The sun was warm, and everything felt peaceful. Leo saw a bright blue butterfly floating between the trees. Without thinking, he followed it deeper into the jungle. The butterfly flew ahead, and Leo kept walking. Ginger padded behind him quietly, watching everything. After a while, the butterfly suddenly vanished. Leo stopped and realized the path was gone. He turned around and tried to find the way back, but every direction looked exactly the same. Tall trees surrounded him, and thick vines hung like ropes. Leo felt his heart beating faster. Ginger sat near his feet and meowed softly. It sounded like Ginger was telling him to stay calm. Leo took a deep breath and started walking carefully. He tried to remember the way, but the jungle kept confusing him. Leo walked one way and then another. Each time, he somehow ended up near the same big tree. "This jungle is a maze," Leo whispered. Ginger blinked, like he already knew that. Ginger jumped onto a rock and sniffed the air. Then his ears lifted as if he heard something far away. Leo listened to and heard something strange in the distance. It sounded like giggling. Leo followed the sound, and Ginger followed beside him. They pushed through leaves and stepped over roots. Soon, they saw something unbelievable. A tiny house stood in the middle of the jungle. The house had a crooked roof and star-shaped windows. A sign on the door said, "Magic inside. Knock nicely." Leo stared at the sign, unsure if it was real. Ginger stared too, completely serious. Leo slowly raised his hand and knocked. For a moment, nothing happened at all. Then the door opened with sparkly smoke. 3 little magicians stood inside. They were shorter than Leo, and their wizard hats were too big. One magician pointed his wand and said, "Welcome, traveler." The second magician said, "We sensed you were lost." The third magician looked at Ginger and said, "And we sensed your cat is judging us." Ginger blinked slowly, like he agreed. Leo stepped inside, holding Ginger close. The inside of the house was even stranger than outside. Books floated in the air, and pillows bounced by themselves. A broom swept the floor without anyone touching it. Leo whispered, "This is real magic." The magicians smiled proudly like they owned the whole jungle. Leo said, "Please help me get home." The 3 little magicians nodded quickly. The first magician pulled out a huge map and threw it on the table. The map opened by itself with a loud slap. It looked like it was angry. The second magician sneezed, and glitter flew everywhere. The glitter landed on the map, and the map started glowing. Then it began spinning wildly like a crazy wheel. Leo stepped back quickly. Ginger's fur puffed up, and his eyes widened. The third magician waved his wand and stopped the map. But now the map was upside down. The first magician frowned at it. The second magician said, "Oops." The third magician sighed loudly. Leo tried not to laugh, but it was hard. The first magician said, "We need a compass." The second magician shouted, "Magic compass!" A glowing compass appeared in the air. It spun and sparkled like it was alive. Leo leaned forward hopefully, but the compass suddenly pointed straight at Ginger. Everyone went quiet, and even the magicians looked confused. The first magician whispered, "The compass chooses the smartest." The second magician whispered, "Then why didn't it point at me?" Ginger stood proudly and flicked his tail. Leo smiled and said, "Ginger will lead us." Ginger walked outside without hesitation. Leo followed him quickly. The three magicians followed too. The jungle was darker now because the sun was going down. Leo felt nervous again as shadows stretched between the trees. But Ginger walked confidently. Leo stayed close behind him. Suddenly, bushes shook loudly, and Leo froze. A monkey jumped out wearing a leaf like a hat. It stared at them and grinned. Before anyone could react, the monkey grabbed a wand and ran. The second magician screamed, "My wand!" Leo ran after the monkey as fast as he could. The three magicians ran too. The monkey jumped from branch to branch and laughed loudly. It tossed mango peels behind it like traps. Leo slipped on one mango peel and nearly fell. Ginger sprinted ahead like a tiny orange rocket. The monkey stopped on a branch and waved the wand. Sparkles shot everywhere, and the monkey laughed even harder. Ginger leapt high into the air. He grabbed the wand in his mouth. Ginger landed perfectly on the ground. The monkey stared in shock and then clapped like Ginger was a hero. After that, the monkey ran away into the trees. The magicians cheered loudly. Leo picked up Ginger and said, "Good job." Ginger purred softly, proud and calm. Now the magicians formed a circle and raised their wands together. The first magician said, "This time, no mistakes." The second magician said, "No sneezing." The third magician said, "No bananas." Then they shouted, "Homeward doorway!" A glowing doorway appeared in the air. It shimmered like golden light. Leo hugged Ginger and stepped through the doorway. In one blink, they were out of the jungle. They were near the path where Leo had started. In the distance, Leo could see the warm lights of home. Leo smiled with relief, and Ginger purred softly. As they walked home, a small note floated down from the sky. Leo caught it and read it. It said, "Visit again. Bring snacks." Leo laughed out loud. Ginger meowed like he was saying, "We are not bringing snacks." And together, they walked safely home. Thanks for watching Gingercat Stories. Like, subscribe, and join Ginger on the next adventure.